Hey y'all, it is now officially the off season, and I'm glad I noticed it when I did, because it would have been bad if I went any further. So, I was not recording for the past like 15 minutes. So everything I said, all the words, I guess they never existed really. But I guess got to look at the positives. I noticed early enough we did not do anything in the off season too big, I should say. There were a couple things that I want to talk about. So before we get into anything, coming off of a tough loss, 3-0 sweep to the Astros. The World Series, I can't show it to you right now, but the Dodgers defeated the Twins 4-1. So the Dodgers finally got over that World Series hurdle, and they won a World Series title. Bellinger was an 8-win player. He had 45 home runs this season. I'm interested to see what he does next year because that team normally becomes a super team. But it is the off season, and I think it is fair to say that this team, out of everything that we definitely need pitching, and not even starting pitching, because I went and I did the rotation, and I don't really think I need to sign a starter this year. The starter that we signed for this offseason was basically McHugh when we gave him that extension. But I think going into next year with a rotation of Chris Sale, Colin McHugh, John DePlanier, Devin Smeltzer, and Lewis Thorpe is pretty solid. I'd be comfortable with that going into the year. If we need to make any changes, we can, obviously. But I think those starting five would be fine, but I think we really need help in the bullpen. Outside of Chafin and Brewer, and I guess Hembry for most of the season, he kind of seems like he kind of faltered towards the end. We really did not have any reliable bullpen arms. And that really killed us in the postseason, especially. We blew several leads that we should not have blown. A good team does not blow those leads in the postseason. So you see, we were 12th in bullpen ERA, which is not where you want to be in the American League. So we need bullpen pieces, and not just regular bullpen pieces. We need big-time bullpen pieces. And we will have the money to do that. JD Martinez opted out, which is exactly what I wanted. He was due to make close to $20 million each in the next 2 seasons. So I'm glad he opted out. I feel like I can replace him pretty easily. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that gives us more money to work with. Dustin Pedroia retired, which was very good for us because that gives us $13 million more to work with than we would have had, which is great. And I think that was basically. And then we declined Mitch Moreland's team option. So those were the 3 things we did off camera. So if we take a look here at the salaries, you can see here our really only big issue right now, I guess I would say, is Eovaldi, that contract. We're only on that for 2 more seasons. I think we can work our way around that as a big market team. If we were a small market team, it'd really hamstring us, but for right now, I think we'll be all right. Rosny Castillo's contract should come off the books, I believe. I think it'll come off the books after this season. I don't know why it wouldn't. It is an auto-renew, but we don't need to keep him. In fact, I wonder if I could even... I'm going to try something in a second. You see Bradley Jr. and Rodriguez, we retain their contracts. They come off the books. Freddie Galvis, Kevin Pillar, Brandon Workman, Chafin, Moreland. We already talked about Moreland, but those guys are basically our main free agents right now, along with Martinez, who we're not going to bring back. So you take a look right now, next season, we have Chris Sale on the books for $30 million. We're not getting out of that. It doesn't make sense to trade him at this point right now. It probably makes more sense to just try to see if we can get some type of good performance out of him, and maybe we try to trade him. I mean, if he's doing good for us next year, we're not going to trade him during the season, but I don't think that he's going to be on my team until 2025. I would be shocked if he is. Bogarts, obviously, we're keeping for right now. He has the opt-out in 2022, so maybe we kind of explore something down the line. Vasquez, we're keeping. Benintendi, we're keeping right now. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Hembry is in arbitration, so he's a guy that I would probably like to bring back because we can't just bring in like 7 new bullpen pieces, obviously. So I think Hembry is one of the few guys that I would want to bring back. Devers is going to be in arbitration, and his estimate is $6 million, so he's going to get a hefty pay raise. Verdugo has another auto-renew year until he gets into arbitration. Sid McHugh's contract kicks in next year's extension. So that was basically the pitcher that we signed at $5.5 million. And that, I think, is pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much all we have to worry about. So if we go into, this is a fun tip for all of you guys, if we go into the manager's office, at the end of the first season, you'll usually notice that you need to fill a lot of spots at your affiliates, sometimes at your major league level too, but mostly your affiliates. A lot of guys only had 1 year on the contract, so they are basically gone. So if you are new to this game, I recommend just going and getting the manager options. You can actually have the assistant GM take care of all your minor league affiliate coaching staffs for you to sign and fire them. You can even do it for your major league team if you really wanted to. But if you're new to this game, I definitely recommend just letting your assistant GM do all that. And then once you get more into the game, maybe you can start taking a look at your personnel yourself. Because you take a look, there's a lot of spots that you have to fill. And it's going to be different for each team, but you're usually going to have a lot of spots you have to fill after your first season. And if you're new to the game, that's just a lot of stuff that you have to worry about. So I'd recommend just letting the assistant GM do that for you. And once you get more comfortable, maybe you could do it yourself. I used to let the assistant GM do it myself, but now I'm more comfortable with the game over the years. So I kind of like to just do it myself because there's certain things that I like to look for in coaches and managers, especially when you get to these lower levels here. I think it's pretty important. But as I said, you do not have to do that. I had the assistant GM do it for the longest time. This is really the first save or not the first save, the first version of the game where I'm doing it all on my own. It's just because I've gotten comfortable with the game over the years. That's just why I do that. But we'll take a look at salary arbitration. We're not going to bring back Zach Godley. We're not going to bring back Bracho. That was just one of the acquisitions. We had a lot of trade acquisitions that worked out for us this year. That was not one of them. He really did not provide us anything. Plawecki, we're not going to bring back. I can find another catcher to help with the AAA team. I don't think I'm going to bring back him as either. Perez is a guy. I can always just get another replacement infielder, so we're not going to get arbitration to Perez. Brazier, I guess I wouldn't hate bringing him back that's a guy I wouldn't hate bringing back. Hembry's a guy I wouldn't mind offering arbitration to. Devers, we definitely want to bring him back. I'd be interested if he'd actually want like a big-time extension, if he'd want to talk about that. Now, we're not, so for these free agents with compensation, I could give a qualifying offer to Martinez, but I don't want to be stuck with him. I don't want to give him this $15 million qualifying offer with the expectation that he will decline it and then kind of be stuck with him for another season. So I'm not even going to risk it. I don't know what he could get in free agency as a 33-year-old bat-only player who cannot play the field at all. He's coming off of a 3-win season, but I'm not going to take that risk. As I said, we're not going to bring back Moreland. I'm not going to bring back Pilar. He wants to be in the starting lineup, and I don't really think that we have a spot for him right now. And we're going to let Brandon Workman go. I think that makes sense. Now, these free agents without compensation, I would not mind bringing back Chafin and Galvis. I think Chafin did pretty well for us at 3.09 ERA and 23 and a third innings pitched. He was a pretty good lefty for us at a time when we needed one. Galvis, same thing. You're not going to have a superstar at every position. So I think bringing back our captain would probably be good. Just have him start at shortstop. So we'll start at the top and then work our way down. These minor league free agents, you can do this automatically if you want. There's a setting where you can do this automatically. I kind of like to do it by myself. So like a guy like, I don't know, Luke Tendler, 29 years old, 1.5 star potential. Is a guy that I probably don't need in my minor league system anymore. I can always find depth like this that's actually younger that could maybe turn into something else. So it's a guy that I probably wouldn't offer a minor league extension to, but I'll usually go through these players and just offer minor league extensions to the guys that I want. Like a guy like Ryder Jones, I'm obviously going to offer an extension to. Tommy Joseph, if he wants to stick around, because he's good defensively. Although, I don't know. I guess I don't really need a guy like him either. I could probably let him go and get a younger first baseman. I usually like to try to keep as many pitchers as I can just because there's so many pitching injuries throughout the season. I always like to have an overabundance of arms. So I'll probably keep all the pitchers, and then at some point in the offseason, normally after the new year, January 1st, I like to just go through and sign a bunch of minor league free agents to put throughout my system, mostly arms, but I'll get some batters as well. But here we go. Let's start with Hembry. So our offer. Oh, actually, before I do that, I always never want to forget to do this. So I like to set my budgets by myself as well. That's another thing that you can let the AI do. Where is it? Setting budgets, scouting development, etc., and ticket price. You can let the assistant GM do that too if you're a new player. It's probably not a bad idea to do that either if this is like your first time ever playing the game. That way it's just one less thing you have to worry about. I like doing it myself. So we have a ton of money. We have $76 million in projected budget room. So we are going to bump up these budgets a lot. So we're going to bump up the scouting budget to, I'd say, $20 million. And we're also going to bump up this player development budget to 20 as well. We were already at 17.9, but we're just going to bump it up to an even 20. And oops, I forgot to hit enter. Oops, got to hit enter. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then the ticket price, we're at 38 right now. I mean, it's a team that made the playoffs last year. I feel like I can bump it up to 39 in a big market with great fan loyalty. You can probably make 39 for the ticket price, and that'll be that. So now you can see now our budget room went down to $68 million, but that's fine. I'd rather put a lot of it in scouting and development as opposed to just signing a bunch of players with it. So, and then we don't really need to do that right now anyway. So let's get into arbitration. Now, I don't like to wait until arbitration comes through. I like to just give these guys extensions immediately. And Hembry, he only wants, the estimate's 1.8. He wants 1.98. I think I could probably get him for around 1.7, probably. Ask for a response now. Could I get him for 1.75? Yeah, okay. So, I mean, it's only $50,000, but it's always good to save money where you can. And then you get an answer from these guys pretty much immediately, which is good, so you don't have to wait. Brazier is a guy that I would not mind bringing back. I wonder if I could get him for like $800,000, maybe. No, so are we going to have to give him $850,000? Oh, nope, he'll take $825,000. Cool. So we'll get Brazier back, and then Devers, I don't know, nope, so he's not really in the mood to talk for a big extension right now, which is fine. He only wants 1 year. I doubt I can get him for less than $6 million. We're going to try. I doubt that I'm going to be able to get him. Oh, okay, cool. So we did get him for under $6 million, 575. Not too upset about that. Less than his arbitration estimate. Lucroy, Martinez, Moreland, Pilar, Workman, not bringing any of those guys back. Chafin's a guy I would not mind bringing back for the right price. Now, he wants 4 years at $6 million per year. I'm not going to do that. He is only 30. He's going to turn 31 in several months, but I'd bring him in for, I'd do 2 years. I'd maybe give him, I mean, I would go high on the first year, and if he can take a pay cut the second year, because he's asking for an annual salary of $6 million, and the average annual value for this is 6.5, so he might take it. Maybe if we can give him like a third year with a vesting option, I would not be against doing that. Let's see. So he needs innings pitched. How many innings did he pitch this year? He pitched total of 55.1. So I'd say maybe if he could reach 50, that would probably be fine. Sure. Okay. And then for some reason he makes the All-Star game, I'll throw in an extra 250. I doubt he's going to make an All-Star team, but why not? Ask for a response. Would he take this? I feel like this isn't the worst contract in the world. I mean, as I said, we have a lot of money. I can kind of afford to do something like this, especially early on. I feel like this is probably fair, and that sounds reasonable. So I'm fine paying him more in 2021 just because we have so much money, and then it goes down the next 2 years, which is fine. So 3 at 18. So we basically just gave him, he wanted 424. We gave him 318. We just structured it differently. We're front loading the contracts, so we're paying him more year one and less the next 2 or 3 years. So Chafin will bring back. Galvis, I would like to bring back. And Freddie, I don't think I quite want to do that. I don't want to give you an 8-year contract worth $60 million. I don't know where you think you're getting that, but I'd give him, he's going to be 31 in about a couple of weeks. I mean, I would give you 3 years, maybe. at 6.5. Man, I don't know about that. Maybe a 4th-year team option with maybe 8, because then our budget would go up by that point. So 8 wouldn't be what 8 is now, and then maybe I'll give you like a 175. Oh, no, a 175 buyout. Oh, I don't know. And then maybe, actually, we could probably go 5 years, make this one a vesting option. And at 7. And if he could play 120 games, I feel like that's probably good. Because I am not giving, I mean, the average annual value of that one's still 7.1 mil. He wanted 7.5. He's not going to get 860 somewhere else. I don't know where he thinks he's getting that. And I really do want to keep him because he is our captain. I would not mind paying him $6 million, although Bogarts is going to be back. And then we have Jeter Downs. I forgot about that. Because if it's a captain, he kind of has to be in your starting lineup, I think I've read. So, that is tough. I don't know. I mean, because I want to play Bogarts, obviously, right? He was so good offensively for us. It's not a guy that I would want to trade right now. I mean, 894 OPS. He had a 939 in 2019, 883 in 2018. He was a 5-win player. He would have been close to a 6-win player probably if he had played the entire season, didn't get injured. He would have definitely helped us in the playoffs. I mean, he's popular in the clubhouse. Is he a leader? He's not a leader, but I mean, it's good to have a guy like that regardless. I mean, he's not... I don't really know. I mean, it doesn't make sense to trade him either. I mean, I don't really know what I would get for him that would make it worthwhile. I mean, I'll shop him. I don't really know what I would get. I mean, we got some names here, which isn't awful. I mean, we need bullpen help. This guy looks like he could be a good bullpen piece. I mean, he's never been in the majors. I mean, we definitely have some names. Mike Moustakas, Nolan Arenado, that would be interesting in Fenway. I mean, there's some options. Oh. I see one name. I see one name that I like a lot. All right, so I saw one name that I liked a ton. Getting Josh Hader, I think, would be interesting because we need a big-time relief pitcher, although I don't think it makes sense to trade Bogarts for him. I mean, I really want to keep Galvis because it's so difficult to find, like, a captain, and, like, he definitely made a difference. I don't know. I mean, Bogarts, man, I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to keep Bogarts too, but I mean, he's only 28 years old. I'll take a look here at lineups. I mean, Jeter Downs, he's basically, I don't know. I think for all intents and purposes, Jeter Downs is going to be my second baseman next year, and Bogarts is going to be my shortstop. Getting Josh Hader would not be bad. I wonder if there's another way I could get Hader, because if the Brewers want to trade him, I want to get on that. I just wonder if there's another way to do it without giving up Bogarts in this package. I wouldn't be against this. Do the Brewers, I don't know their team off the top of my head. Do they need a shortstop by any chance? Let me see. Who's their shortstop right now? Orlando Arcia. I mean, I'd like to think that Bogarts is an upgrade over him. I don't know why they would. I mean, he only wants to be a bench player. That's his expectation. He was in the minors for most of the year. So this would be an upgrade for their lineup. I mean, their infield is not very good. Eric Sogard, Orlando Arcia, Logan Morrison. So they could really use an upgrade offensively. It seems like, this team is not very good. Yeah, 71 and 91. Yikes. They don't really have a farm system either. I'm not against doing this at all. Yeah, I mean, he's in arbitration right now, so I would have to do arbitration with him. But I feel like that that has to be what we need to do, right? I mean, is there a way to do it that doesn't involve Bogarts? Out of curiosity, now it's either Bogarts or Devers. I'm really not against doing this, guys. I'm not because Hader, obviously. I mean, extreme fly ball, but I don't care about that at this point because he tends to keep his home runs in check. He strikes out so many guys. It seems like, the sim engine seems to be kind of down on him. Only 98 strikeout. He only pitched 58.2 innings, so they didn't use him like they would in real life. This is an interesting trade. He's a lefty too, which is huge. And that would be one of the bullpen pieces that we need. I might do this, guys. Bogarts for Hader, 1-for-1. I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. Did they want to give up any other pitchers by any chance? Any other relievers? Shop a player. That's what I want. They wanted to give up a starter, which so Hader was the guy that they really wanted to give up. I think I might do this. I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, is there another relief pitcher that they would be fine giving up to? Can we do like a 2-for-1? Because I feel Ray Black he doesn't have a lot of control. So we're taking Hader. Eric Lauer maybe wouldn't be awful. I don't know. I feel like a 1-for-1 this is pretty interesting. I mean, we get the contract off the books. We're obviously not going to be paying Hader $20 million a year. And they still have $20.9 million in space to work with. Bogarts for Hader. We're going to do it. I like that trade a lot. Fan reaction, obviously. Look at that. They're not really happy, but it decreased slightly. But it increased noticeably. So Bogarts for Hader, I like that a lot. I really do. So what that allows me to do, and nope, I don't want the Brewers. Nope. Let's get DFA'd, Hader, so he comes in. So he immediately slots in. We're not bringing back Workman. So Hader slots, can't talk today, 7th and close game, set game strategy. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so now that's huge. So I like that a lot. So now we have an actual guy that we can trust in big situations, which is really, really good. Cool. I like that. I like that trade. And now, if we go to salary arbitration, we can give Galvis a deal, offer extensions. I lost it. Damn. What was it? It was 5 years. It was a team option with a 250. No, there was a 175 buyout. And then the 4th year was a vesting option for games played at 120 in 2023. Buyout, he probably would want a bigger buyout, so I'd give him maybe 515. And then I would probably like to kind of go a little lower at 6, bump that up to 8. Would he take that? I don't like a team option. Okay, is that the only thing that's keeping you from taking this? Okay, no, he's really set on $7.5 billion. I mean, I would do like a short-term, like a 2-year deal for that much, and maybe just bump up the salary a little bit. Would you do that? Because now you're making $9.5 million a year for 2 years. Would you do that? No. He really wants this term. We're gonna come back to him. We are gonna come back to him because I guess there's nobody else. All right, guys, I'm gonna take a break. When we come back, I'll give you some news.